5 popular self-defense techniques that will get you killed. Okay. Now, number 1, I see it everywhere. Still today, people are teaching it. Wrist locks. Okay. Wrist locks will not work. If you put a wrist lock on someone, they're going to punch your face with the other hand. If you put a wrist lock on someone, they're going to pull their hand away. Wrist locks are for police to use when there's other police around as a compliance move. Okay? They're not made for the street. They're not going to, if you're a 95-pound Filipino nurse and some 250-pound guy's out of control in the ER and he's trying to punch her in the face, she's not going to ever get to use a wrist lock. Ever, ever, ever. Wrist locks will get you killed. In fact, I don't mean to trash on different martial arts, but most Aikido techniques are not made for the street. It's a beautiful art. It's a passive art. It's great for meditation and it's great for flowing movement, but it will not work in the street. Okay, unless you're Steven Seagal in the movies. Okay, wrist lock, number 1, it will get you killed if you try in the street. Okay, number 2, using your opponent's weight against them. In other words, flowing with their techniques and making it work against them. If someone comes at you swinging, trying to take your head off in a street fight, you cannot grab his hand out of midair and flow him off to the side using his trajectory. It's just not going to work. The only way to beat violent people is to become better at violence than they are. That's the only way, whether we like it or not. It's a cruel, evil world out there sometimes. It's beautiful most of the time. But when it gets ugly and cruel and evil, it's ugly and evil. And we have to beat that evil one way. Okay? We have to be better at violence than they are. So you have to use force. Whether it's a pointed force or blunt force trauma or a choke or something violent on them. And that's the only way you're going to beat them once they attack you. Now, I'm not talking about a street fight where you're going back and forth, talking to them and shoving in a street mutual combat. I'm talking life or death if someone jumps you. Okay, you got to throw away all misconceptions, throw away your civility, and you have to get down and dirty, and you have to be willing to get more violent than they are. Okay? You have to be able to do that. So that's number 2. You can't use their strength against them. You have to use your strength against them. Don't use their strength, use your strength. That's the only way to beat them. And trying the other way will get you killed. Number 3, most blocks. If you wait for them to hit you or stab you and you try to block it every time, when's the last time you've seen a UFC fighter blocking? Inward block, outward block, upward block, downward block. It's going to get you killed. You can't block against someone that's punching you and trying to take you down and swinging on you. You have to attack. You have to be defensively offensive, not defensively defensive. You'll never see a fighter winning by being defensively defensive. They have to be offensive. Defensively offensive, meaning your chin has to be down and your hands have to be up, but you have to be attacking to win. If you start blocking, you block one, maybe. I don't think you block the second one. You definitely won't block the third. So if you're just relying on blocking, like a lot in the school system, they teach their kids, don't hit back, block their strikes. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. I wish it did. I wish we lived in a perfect world where we could just block and be peaceful and use their strength against them and not hurt them back and peace, love, and happiness. I wish it was like that, but it's not. And when there's violent people, evil, trying to take your head off, you need to get more violent than they are. I'm sorry. So blocking just doesn't work. Okay, I'm not saying don't move your head, don't parry, don't get out of the way of punches. I'm not saying that. You want to be evasive as you can. But if you stand there and try to block their stuff, you are going to get knocked the hell out. Okay? So, most blocks. Number 3, parry, don't block. Evasive, don't block. Okay? Number 4, groin kicks. Okay? Groin kicks, if they land, it's okay. It's good. But if I've heard so many people, especially women, say, I don't need to learn self-defense. I'm just going to kick him in the balls. That is an overwhelming misconception that women have, that they don't have to learn real self-defense because all they got to do is kick him in the balls. That will get you killed. Okay? Trying to attack the balls with a kick is going to get you killed. While someone's pounding, pummeling your face, choking you, trying to kill you, and you're trying to kick them in the balls. It's not going to work. Okay? It's not a target to aim for. If it happens to be there and present itself, a good knee or even something more dangerous, okay, if it presents itself. But if you go aiming for the balls while they're trying to punch you in the face, you're going to end up on the ground unconscious with somebody soccer kicking you until you lapse into a coma, which you wake up from 6 months later with a tracheostomy tube and you're attached to a ventilator while it's ringing. And you're just going to wake up thinking, I was trying to kick him in the balls. Don't. It'll get you killed. Okay? All right. Number 5. Clinching. Okay, thinking you can stop someone from hitting you by clinching with them. Okay, if you are a black belt in jiu-jitsu, a Greco-Roman gold medalist in the Olympics, okay, you might be able to clinch your way out of a fight. If you are a judo black belt, you might be able to clinch your way out of a fight. But any type of clinching in a street scenario where you don't know your opponent, you don't know what he has in his waistband, you don't know what he has in his pocket, you don't know where his friends are behind you. Once you start clinching someone, next thing you know, they're going to be in their pocket. And you're going to feel someone tapping on your ribs, just like, why is this guy tapping me? Next thing you know, you're going to feel blood running down your side, and you're going to try to take a deep breath in, and it's going to hurt. And you can't take a breath in because you just got stabbed 18 times while you were clinching someone. You want to create distance in a street fight. You don't want to bring your opponent into you. Okay, if you want to grab him real tight, real quick, and try for a clinch takedown or grab him for a couple knees, that's one thing. But if you want to clinch in a street fight, you're going to end up either with the side of your face bitten off by some crazy, angry, stoned, violent criminal, or you're going to get stabbed by somebody who happens to have a knife in their waistband, and they just figured you just gave them that. Okay? So, with that said, I just gave you five common self-defense techniques that will get you killed. Okay?